Hello everybody and welcome to Complexity versus Heretics map number 3, the Decider, which is Dust2. A decisively favored map for Complexity whenever they're going into vetoes, but based on how Mirage played, I don't think Heretics are at that much of a disadvantage. Early on we see some mid-aggression come through from Lucky, but nothing spotted just yet. Complexity coming in through underpass are gonna, or through B tunnels, excuse me, gonna serve a bit of a problem. Maybe Lucky's behind them. Oh, that was a big box left unchecked for Complexity.
Yeah, massive find. It looks like they might want to try and bring it back up short, but there's still XMS now actually following up with that long aggression. Not able to connect the shots there, but at least holding them off for a little while as they try and rotate up. Poison eventually actually spins around and just destroys them, but at this point it is going to be pushed down, so they're looking to try and just trade this out successfully, but Poison is doing it all! Manages to actually come out with the 4 headshots on that P250. Absolutely ridiculous. I was going to say at least it's just wasting a ridiculous amount of time. But no, finishes it out. What a sick 4K, and that's one way for Complexity to kick this map off feeling a bit more confident after letting that lead on Mirage slip away almost.
Yeah, with the pistol round under their belt, they face off against an eco, so even more chances to build up that confidence. Team Heretics coming in with just the USPs and a single flashbang, move in towards long. The strat, Lucky's got himself a flash which will pop over if they took any contact, and then the USPs would swing. But they don't find anyone on long as Complexity avoid that part of the map, taking mid control and seeing what they can work from it. You gotta remember, this is a map that Complexity love to play. Like I said, they pick this a lot of the time. It's their second most picked map alongside Mirage. I think it's like 24% if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm throwing it out there on that one. But it's if Mirage is banned in a series, essentially this is where they'll take it, and that's a little bit worrying, the fact that they've got their favorite and second favorite map out coming into their pick and the Decider. That was the only concern at the start, but obviously we saw Heretics come back from a I just can't believe that. They were 13-3 down and 16-14 they lost in the end. Hell of a comeback.
Indeed, I mean, but that can be an upsetting loss as well if you get so close and end up falling short. Sometimes you can be a little bit angry with yourself, but overall you definitely should be looking at as a positive the fact that they were able to bring it back, get themselves going before moving on to Dust2. But the second round anyway is going to be found quite easily by Complexity. Going out through mid, splitting on towards B. Obviously, as we seen, it was Heretics who had just gambled over towards A with that stack. Having not invested anything, you do definitely agree with it. And now they're transitioning themselves over so that they can potentially steal away a weapon even. I mean, right now Config is coming in towards the spawn. They don't want to give away too many kills to this SMG either, though that could be a little bit of an issue if they just feed the bank of Config right now. He needs to be cautious himself, though. Doesn't really want to fall. And there we go. Yeah, 1 kill being found.
They're all coming out here as well. Complexity giving the USPs all the opportunities. Already 2 kills on the board. Now he's being pushed down by a Mac-10. Rush fell off the wall, though. Humpty Dumpty not able to get up in time. But it looks like Complexity will be able to put this T-side back together again with a decent buy. That said, losing those players is going to cost them. The reinvestment for Config and Oboe puts them into a position where they haven't got a future-proofed economy. What I mean by that is if they lose this round, they won't be able to get a buy. Now, Config actually dropped, so Poison is the one that is struggling. But still, 2 players essentially on Complexity will be struggling for cash should they lose this round. And this presents an even better opportunity for Heretics, and that's why they play so slow in the round where they have the USPs. You might be tempted to say, well, oh, they're giving up the round, they're saving, and blah, blah, but that is why. Those exit kills, so valuable, even if they don't save a weapon.
Yeah, but I mean, if they aren't able to capitalize off the back of it and take this gun round, then it may not really add up to anything in the end. You see BlameF even toss that in for a little bit further away, just in case anyone wanted to retrieve it from that CT side. Not needed, as we can see. They didn't really prioritize any utility in this round, instead going straight for all the rifles, and now that they've already lost 1 player, the pressure is going to be immense on them to win out these aim duels, which is not going to be easy. We see the full short control obviously being found for Complexity off the back of that frag on Maka, and with pretty much a full-on A stack at the moment actually pretty much set up. They have that 1 player in the CT spawn at least, so he can call if they are going to be moving out mid. He'll know if they start crossing over in B. For the moment, though, Complexity still want to favor on towards the A bomb site, so this could be the correct decision. And I like it. As I said, lacking the nades, this is what they need.
They're starting to move in towards this A site. Full smoke. They've got it all the way across the site without really being spotted. And now the duel comes through. They've spotted Goose, Navera on ramp. And who gets his head domed off by Config. And now the plan for short can come through. They need to be worried about a jump. Got up, but nothing today. And a 2v3 to emerge. Heretics not in the best of spots coming back into this site. They have no util, no kit. They've got to get the kills quickly, and it starts out. Big falling. Oboe goes low, but Kiyoshima still across the site, tagged by the scout. It's probably time to run away then, but he swings out wide and dies right after.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to be said about that. Complexity just hitting their shots as they moved forward onto A. As I pointed out, there was no nades. There was just that one smoke that we seen being put down, which unfortunately couldn't be too effective. And as you said, towards the end there, it looked like they maybe even could have considered a save on the final player. Instead, now they come into this round with 0 investment. And again, Heretics are going to be getting off to quite a slow start, losing both the pistol and the open and gun round. It's exactly what we seen back on Mirage. They went down 9-0 before they got a single round. So I'm hoping we're not going to be seeing a similar situation here. I want to see a competitive map between these two because we know they are capable of it. XMS getting the 1-for-1 trade in the beginning there on mid. Unfortunately, not going to be giving them a weapon.
It might be retrievable a little bit later on. Heretics pump the brakes and wait for Complexity to make a move. They've left B completely open. The flash through. Nathan Rivera gives away a spot. Staring at him as he comes around the corner. And time going to tick on. Complexity not yet to make commitment towards the side or to lock themselves out from later options. Maka might have just gotten an angle for that smoke, and good shot to Poison. That headshot on the Deagle prompts him to fall back. And a very valuable frag to have. Poison's been a big player for them on Dust2, and indeed always is with that AWP. One of his better maps in the pool. Heretics looking to hold down on B with just a one-player. Maka, who's tucked up. He's navigated his way from bottom mid to the car, and all 3 players on the T side are coming out.
Yeah, likely they will clear it though, so he's going to have to hit some spectacular shots, and unfortunately not even able to connect the first one there on Oboe. So he goes down, as does control of the site now over towards Complexity, and Kiyoshima and Lucky have called that they're just going to try and save this one. Having retrieved the knock, that is a pretty big recovery, to be fair. It's certainly going to help them a lot in this next round. They have full loss bonus, but it'll still allow for some extra utility and such to be pulled out behind that AWP. It'll also give them the ability, if they want to, actually go for the secondary up, because Maka could buy one up himself also. So they could drop that over to whoever else wants to actually use that secondary one. But Complexity 4-0. Overall, decent damage and really the most that they could have hoped for in this round. And Kiyoshima's still willing to stick around. Let's see if he can find one more. Was he checking to see if there was a gun up on top of that box? Yeah, they've got themselves an AK here as well.
I mean, Heretics, this went about as well as you can imagine for them. They had nothing. You know, a couple pistols coming into this, and all of a sudden, they've got 2 weapons. To walk away capitalizing on both that they found. Not too shabby. I didn't even know you could get a gun from on top of that box from that angle. Was it like dangling over the edge or something?
I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, they must have thrown it up on the top. He didn't grab it himself. I think it ended up getting knocked down, and that's when he picked it up, obviously. But he knew it was up there. I'm presuming his teammate from short must have seen it, because I had no idea. I didn't notice Complexity throwing it up there. They must have done that after losing the player. As I had said, it wasn't retrievable. They did take that from the mid doors and bring it into lower tunnels where it was a little bit more secure. Not enough to keep it out of their hands, and Kiyoshima actually is going to be the first man to take contact with this retrieved weapon. Has help up close on the corner as well. There is 3 players in his general area. Kiyoshima in a bit of trouble though as he's forced to drop the smoke, but with the help from Lucky, they are successfully holding down this long area, but there's still 2 more players who were pushed out and ready to try and take this fight.
Good damage though still. They've got to deal with Kiyoshima. There we go. Down goes Poison. Deagle out now, not ready to reload, and he gets Oboe. Kyo with a 3K on long. And it's all down to Blame F. A 1v3. He's got a player in the back at least to make it that little bit easier. But now they know where he is, and Kyo can reposition, moving into long doors with the bomb down on... Oh, that's a... What is happening there for Navera? Running back up. Did he have his knife out? He was moving very fast.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I was on Kiyoshima at that point, who is now left in the 1v1 on 4 health.
Big mistake made here to leave this into a 1v1. I mean, Kyo can't afford to really post up and hold it. But Blame F luckily is playing mind games with himself. He suspects maybe a short push. He's thinking about this probably 10 seconds too early as he goes in to take that bomb with 30 seconds remaining. Yoshima's on his way up through lower. Oh, okay. Is he heading to B or is he watching? Okay, he's watching CT cross. I was wondering, like, surely he doesn't think Blame has gone to B. And here we go on the crossover. He's not blind by that. Oh, and he legs him. Blame's made it away. Battle of the sub 20 HPs.
Yeah, I mean, this is really close, and Keo obviously realizing has traded out to the M4, giving himself a little bit of a better chance now. One bullet from either of these is going to be enough to finish off the round, and obviously Heretics, this is one that they really need. Keo already claiming 3, looking to make it 4. Blame F just in behind the bomb site, so they are going to find contact pretty soon. Or at least it is quite likely. Hiroshima using that Molotov to clear out. Gandalf moving forward, not expecting him to be on the bomb site initially, but does spot him with that jumpy, and now pinned in behind the bomb site, but with the smoke down, Blame F creates a bit of an advantage for himself there. Keo moving up, gets spotted around the edge of the smoke and taken down. And despite his best efforts, isn't able to put Heretics on the board.
Hell of a round from him, though. That long hold was fantastic. Supported in by Lucky. I think Navera as well. The flashes were coming through. But it was all just heads-up aim duels that he was winning in the end. I think the kill into Poison, he might have successfully flashed him. I couldn't see if Poison was blind or not. But either way, 5-0 it goes. Complexity winning that. Pushes the CT side down to a much, much weaker buy. 2 FAMAS making an appearance, and there's barely any utility. Still able to afford their smokes. Blame F playing with fire. The flash around was perfect. He's not able to peek it in time.
Ooh, nice teamwork as well for the follow of smoke to let Config live, and he doesn't care at all. Just goes right back in for more. Headshot onto Kiyoshima. Rush holding down that rotation as well. Does considerable damage onto XMS. Nade may pull something back. Unfortunately, a little bit too deep to finish off Config. And Poison being too high health for it to do anything to him as he gets that bomb planted. And Oba was lurking out B the entire time. Sure, he gets dinked down, but he finds the frag. Now it's a 2-on-5. There's not really much hope for Heretics to move in on this retake, and it's about to be 6-0. That was a quick gun round from Complexity, and I think they were a little bit angry about how they ended up finishing Mirage and wanted to come back in and prove what they're capable of here on Dust2, because that's certainly been what we're getting so far. There's one from Maka. They just need to save these weapons, though. I mean, damage definitely still helps them out, considering Complexity haven't built up much money. But they do need their own weapons, because with that they can buy. Kiyoshima can get himself an investment as well, and then they could drop Lucky and Navera.
And no further challenge after the AWP rings out. The T's know that exiting further through short is only going to lead to at least 1 or 2 more players meeting their demise. They're happy to concede the rifles. That said, I wouldn't have been upset if Complexity did aggressively hunt, as long as they went together, knowing that there was an AWP being saved, and the situation on this CT side economy shouldn't be fantastic. It could have netted them a free round. But instead, they get a lot of money built up. And that's almost as good a situation, really, with no risk. Now, though, that buy you were talking about, the weapons dropped over, and the CT side don't look terrible. Not as healthy as they've ever been. Maka gets blinded from lower tunnels a couple times, and now he has to just back off. Those players could be coming through Xbox at any moment. But instead, it's straight through the B site that they come. Oh, they haven't spotted XMS! He gets himself a double! Not even, actually. Navarro was through with a kill of his own. And the B side has fallen, but the cross, Poison spots 1, and they still don't know about Blame F. This round should be done with, really.
Keo was being somewhat cautious, but presumed it was clear and was more so focused on the doors. And yeah, now it's all on Maka. I believe he was spotted earlier as well. Poison did spot out a second player in the CT spawn. Ronaldo just posted up, hoping that mid player would peek out and give him a chance to move forward. And if that doesn't happen, then he has to try and back away, which is also quite unlikely. I mean, with it already Poison up on window ready to peek in, I think they may want to take this up out of the hands of him right now, because if they do, obviously Heretics in the next round will have very little. They hear him backing away anyways, so they do have that info. I guess not hunting too aggressively themselves, not having a fantastic economy. They want to build up some of their own money and not let it get out of hand like it did back on Mirage if they were to lose a couple rounds, I suppose. So you can't really blame them. Makado at least securing the 1 weapon. Still obviously not going to be enough really for them to buy unless they want to have a weakness onto even 1 player, I think it'd be, because Navera and Lucky could invest. And yeah, they're going to go for it. I guess at this point you're going to have to.
I mean, I'm not going to count anything out. We know that Heretics' CT side has been weak, but hell, so is Complexities. When it comes to Dust2, though, I kind of got to rule out a lot of these excuses. Half to half, the differences are certainly there, but you shouldn't be struggling this much on the defense, especially not with so many individual performances. This is just sheer prowess from Complexity. Oh, they didn't know Lucky was there, but now they're not so lucky on the CT side. Oh, what? Oh, it was a team kill. I was wondering how he killed him so fast. Poison goes out to trade, but they're at a man disadvantage on the back of that. They lined up. I was thinking, Keo's only got an MP9. He won't get much done, and all of a sudden, this two guys dead. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, much needed help for them. And, I mean, now it's all on Poison. We've seen another op pick coming in from Maka. 1-on-3, I mean, Poison's been playing well. Was he 9-2 right now, so I'm not going to count them out. One thing I just noticed is Rush hasn't actually got a frag yet. That's kind of surprising. They're up 7-0. But, yeah, I mean, he may be able to find this lower tunnels aggression if XMS decides to go any further forward, but I doubt he will. He'll know at this point that he just has to control this area of the map. He can get the info to move it back towards B. He can have a quick rotation and also find information if the push comes up through short. So he is a very important spot right now. Going back up towards the tunnels itself, though. So that should give a little bit of room for Poison to try and walk up through short. At that point, though, he's still going to have to fight against the op of Maka on the bomb site, and then there's going to be Navira as well, who can rotate in relatively quickly. Although if the push was coming through short, of course, he wouldn't have been able to help out much. Instead, though, the bomb being brought towards long. Does he just want to save? I believe so. I was focused on the CT players, and as I swapped to him, I realized, yeah, just chilling in the long doors. Doesn't want to even attempt this one. They have plenty of money, but it will definitely still help them out a bit. Poison can drop one over to Rush.
Yeah, I don't know if Poison's going to be able to drop anything. XMS coming up behind. He's tucked in the doors, though, and XMS stopped pushing, so never mind. That's all good. And now, Dean, it's time for Brazil! The 7-1. Heretics have done it. They've got a round on the board. At long last. But there is certainly a bit of a long stretch of road to go before they're going to be smiling about it. Their faces are very much like Kiyoshima's, just staring blankly ahead. Maybe we can turn that into a bit of a Maka. The slight smile. If they manage to pick up a streak of rounds.
They'll definitely need to do that if they want to start pulling this back. So, yeah, I hope so. As I said, I wanted this one to be competitive. Already, though, Complexity have got themselves that short control quite easily. The op of Navira peeking in actually spots the head of Poison, and there we go. A massive find early on in this round. Something that they definitely needed. They do also have the long control for themselves at this point, having got one player over to the pit being Kiyoshima. They can stack up the bomb site itself a little bit more. And with the advantage at this point, they definitely will be feeling comfortable. And all right, Rush peeking down mid just gets dropped. He's yet still to find himself a frag, unfortunately. Obo pulls one back, but... Oh, he team killed. Is that what happened? Yeah, sorry, unfortunately. My bad.
He found
Fake
one,
news from me.
I mean, that's not much better than in all fairness.
Here we go, going forward. Obo already tagged down. Team Heretics realizing they have a good spot and that they can just wait for their teammates to rotate in so they can work together as four. Likely to just concede the bomb plant here, but they're still in a pretty strong spot overall. Not really having nades, that's the main issue, just one flash.
I highly doubt that Rush would be arguing with you there, you know, if you say, if you got no kills, go, actually, I've got one and a team kill, so it's not bad.
This is better from Blame, damn! 3 go down, and Maka's left alone on the long corner. How is this round collapsed for Heretics? He's left saving. Oh god, Blame F, you were nasty.
That's one way to do it. Jeez, just tapping them away. All at once. Maka's left out there on long, wondering what the hell happened to his buddies.
Damn. I had a horrible joke I was going to make, and I might give it anyway. I was hoping Heretics would get that second round so I could say they've gone from Brazil to Argentina now. It would have been a horrible joke, as I said. But I wanted to do it. It would have, and it still was. But yeah, nah, for the sake of it being a competitive map, I needed that round to go over to Heretics as well. I think at this point, Complexity just run away and finish this. I mean, I guess we expected the same thing back on Mirage, and Heretics proved us wrong by still making it a close one. But this round here, one up, one scout, some pistols elsewhere. And, okay, Mac actually does find that player up close, so Obo goes down early. Poison getting tagged up elsewhere, so this is not a bad spot to be in. Oh, and the Deagle as well, ready up close.
There's a nice free upgrade for him as well. The Deagle into the AK. This Complexity move up through long. There's this 3-man stack on this side already, but Kiyashima, he's been deleted on the scout. Up they come. Deagle waiting for them in the hands of Lucky. Let's see if the spray of that Deagle is going to be looking for him. Oh, it does a lot of damage. Makes it a little bit easier for his teammates. Navera takes down Config. Rush still low. Rush not low anymore. And it's all down to Poison. 1v3 with an op, and he can't even see Navera fading through the smoke and taking a 4th kill. Starts that round out with a Deagle and finishes it with an AWP and 4 kills under his belt. He's just so good. Navera has these rounds where he just goes lights out all of a sudden. And just like in his picture here, his opponents just can't see him when he's in that form.
You can't stop him either, apparently.
Can't stop what you can't see.
Yeah, I mean, but again, we need to see Heretics actually capitalize on the back of being able to take themselves that second round. If they don't chain something together here, then again, their economy will be struggling. But they have gone ahead and actually this time knocked Complexity down onto a weaker by themselves. 3 SMGs in play. Actually, collateral there being connected by Navera. Not enough for the second kill, but the damage definitely being dealt out. Blame F also getting taken low as he wins out that initial fight, but isn't able to do much else, and there's XMS closing it out. 3 for Heretics.
Some Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff from Maka just drops down in front of whoever the player was running out through the doors in his face. Hello there. Deletes him. No scopes and the off aren't inaccurate if you shove the barrel down their throat, as Maka can attest to. 8-3. Slowly getting there. As Complexity are pushed down to practically no money, and what should be another for the CT side. Looking in for early long control. They're going to be facing into some, not some utility. Kiyashima delaying it a bit before throwing that nade. It actually doesn't do that much damage considering it was a couple inches away from them. Counter-strike and grenades.
Normally it's when there's like an elevation change that the nade ends up doing less damage than expected, so I thought there would be a lot more there. Getting away fairly well off there on the Complexity side of things. The op shot going to be connected though as well towards Rush as he jumps across the top, so a bit of damage being dealt out. And overall in this round, obviously, we're not expecting much. A couple of kills from these Deagles would be probably the most optimistic outcome of this round, unless they just go insane somehow. I mean, if Heretics were to lose this one, then you'd really be feeling sad at that point about it. Ooh. Moving up the short. Just seeing the X-ray, everyone trying to jump, it looks hilarious. They have made their way up eventually. And if they were to rush up short, I mean, at that moment when I was beginning that sentence with 2 players over towards the corner, maybe they could have had a chance to get the bomb down, but now it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Kiyashima, good to grab himself config and look out for a little bit more, but the whole team's pitching in. Why not? That Complexity not getting the mission objectives completed. Gonna have to try again next time, as no bomb plant to come through. Still, though, the money is okay. Poison goes down to a scout to bridge the gap. No longer the Krieg fanatic that he once was in rounds like this. Thankfully, because Poison with a Krieg on Dust2 is not something you want to be facing.
Right out long though, Complexity back into their quicker paced pushes here, not really letting it affect their confidence that they have lost these last few rounds. And for the moment, Heretics not really able to challenge it too aggressively. One player forced back off towards the car, being Keo, who initially did want to cross the... And immediately, of course, being pretty much stopped by the smoke going down on the corner. Oh, and the Molotov coming in as well. Now that they had to smoke it, they should be aware of the fact that there is a player there. Obviously, it was thrown in from elsewhere, but... unless they're using it as like some next level bait, then most likely there is someone in that corner. But they've given up pretty much all control elsewhere to go ahead and get this long control. You can see one player pushed out towards the Xbox watching lower tunnels. They have a player in mid as well, so that they have the quick rotations on towards A. So this is still going to be tough for Complexity.
They've decided to just barrel forward. I mean, it's that or take a risk of going back into potentially aggressive CTs. Lucky gets around the boxes, but not back to the site without being tagged. and the molly finishes him off. But at least he gets those 2 kills. I don't know where XMS is going. He's on a tour of the tunnels, but as he's taking in the scenery, Navarra is trying to get this done. Over towards the Kari, here's a player spamming. Knows now there's 2 on site. All the info to play with for Navarra. Waits for his teammates. They're coming in through short. Maka going to be boosted up on top of the AWP, waiting for that bomb to be planted. And there it is. Takes the kill, but they actually deleted Navarra in time. Poison from long took him down on the jump up. And it's down to a 2v2. Maka as well. Poison! He's going for the finale! But he can't get it done. Not the 4K, unfortunately. What a noob. He only gets 3. 9 rounds for Complexity and an op save for Poison. Damn good round overall.
Yeah, I mean, that's heartbreaking. 9 rounds already here on the T side now for Complexity due to being able to pull that round back in their favor. Coming down to the 2v2 there, but unfortunately Heretics weren't able to do a lot. I mean, the double up setup here at least is afforded once again. They have a very strong buy and a chance to try and fight back up to 6 rounds at least. But I mean, Poison shuts me up extremely quick. He apparently doesn't care whether he can see people or not. Demolishes one on the cross. Rush2 peeking in, ends up getting dropped by the up there and Maka, but they may find the short aggression. Actually trying to damage back relatively evenly initially. Unfortunately, BlameF gets taken extremely low, and now they're just going to try and give it straight towards B. But even while blind, Navarra able to get 1, and immediately the second. It's just 1 by 1 at this point. Fortunately, they eventually win 1 aim duel, but that's it. Maka returns again, straight away. It's all on Poison.
Turn up the Maka once again. And Poison's bailing out of there with the AWP. Not worth throwing that away for a 1v3. Not in towards B. But soon we'll see. Or sorry, I'm gonna stop rhyming now. He's going in for the A side, I would guess. With the long rotation, he went through T-spawn, but he does just hold down for anyone crossing. I don't know if he saw Lucky, but either way, he won't be catching anyone else. They're sitting down in 2-1 hold and letting that clock run all the way down. So far, this has been a fairly common game for Complexity. I mean, Poison showing up on the AWP, BlameF with some really good rounds under his belt. It's their CT side I'm pretty worried about. Hold on, Poison can't see him from there right now. As he pushes to the site. No. Hasn't made steps. There's no info to play with. Oh, they've seen him now.
I believe he had spotted the barrel there, Lucky. So he had a bit of an idea about the bomb site, at least being one player there. But yeah, the op holding off the cross. Good round by Heretics, pulling it back to 5 if they do get the 6th, which is fairly likely when you see that Complexity. Don't have enough to get out all the rifles. Oh, both pulls went out, but without a helmet, a little bit risky. With 3 M4s likely in paydat. Oh, no, yeah, no, just the 2 M4s. So, I mean, it's only really going to affect them against those 2 players. But overall, that's the only rifle that they have here. They have a couple Tech 9s, a Mac 10, and a Scout. So, Heretics, they may actually be able to pull this back to 6, and that's a much better recovery than what we see in the manage back on Mirage. So, if they do pull it back to 6, I think that they definitely still can make this potentially their series. But it's going to be a close one. Maka right now holding for this lower tunnels peak. I was going to say could be in trouble in terms of actually escaping away, but he manages to make it back completely unscathed. And nearly follows up with another frag. Does at least tag Oboe down.
Oboe and BlameF both pretty low. Heretics have got a hold we've seen a million times. But then again, everything on Dust2 has been seen a million times. In towards that A site, you've got the nice nade to BlameF. The AWP playing at the car, one on the bomb side to try and swing out and trade, and then that long hold by Kiyashima to just ensure no one comes up behind. His job is to just play that nice and passive and play the info. Maybe get Maka to rotate around if something goes down. Complexity. Not enough smokes to get their, or no smokes really, to get themselves across the site. Flash up by Maka, and here's the swing to come through, and Lucky's getting plenty. He gets a double, and Maka finishes it off as well. 9-6. Heretics not having the worst half. Certainly nothing compared to Mirage. And now they're on the attacking side where, up against Complexity so far, they've been thriving. Until we find out... we have to wait a little bit until we find out how the next half's going to go, because we got a little bit of a break. But stay with us, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with half 2.
Inside my mind, what was born like a fire in the eye of a hurricane. Always told, stay in line, be alright, better play it safe. I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I've passed the point of no return, something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again.
Let's get it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. Fly so high they can't touch us. So top notch, none above us. We done came so far, now we up now. Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we own the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Come alive.
Hello everybody, welcome to Half 2, Complexity, CT side. And we're going to start it out with a kit on config. That's over towards middle, holding down fairly passive. Oboe, I mean this is the same pistol round we've seen from Complexity every time they play Dust2. Oboe solo holding the site, one player playing aggressive down towards short, that's Blame F. I'm waiting in for contact, he's going to back off now, Blame F's on his way over. And you've got config ready to flash them in as they come down long. Oboe facing for quite a bit longer than we normally see. And they haven't yet crossed into pit, which is still a pretty decent advantage to play with. I'm waiting for that flash from config.
Taking its time, eventually one actually comes in from Heretics. It blinds up a few of the team players, but they do find the opening kill despite a little bit of team damage as well being dealt because of it. But this is a lot of time. Complexity do have 3 players around the side of the map. Unfortunately, just the one on the bomb site itself. But that boost from Rush is successful for one. It gave them a little bit of a fighting chance, but unfortunately it's probably not enough with Oboe already being low and obviously spotted up close into CT spawn, left alongside Poison. And his flank from Maka is here to go ahead and close it out. Lines them both up. 7 for Heretics. After what was a 7-0 start for Complexity, we've seen 7 of the last 9 rounds now going in favor of Heretics. A very solid recovery and very worrying considering how Mirage went as well. We've seen the majority of the rounds towards the latter end of that game going their way. So the fact that they were able to get that and then kind of get off to a little bit of a poor start here, but once they do get back into winning ways, once again start showing that performance and doing so a lot earlier on Dust2, it's just a really good sign from them. Wouldn't nade.
Also changing up their setup when it comes into this force buy. Config having gone for the early aggression in towards tunnels doesn't happen every day of the week. But as he gets shut down, relying again on these double scout setups. On this double scout setup to work. Their pistol round for Complexity is very much based around playing on the B side. Config has a very early rotate. If they do decide to push into the B side, he easily flashes over, blinds them as they come out, and it's a shutdown. But it is much weaker on A for the reasons that we saw there. That one smoke in the corner stopped them capitalizing off the flashbangs. About as easy as you could hope for. Heretics now looking to split up through short for just a moment. They've got long control. Poison's tapping away, and not even the scout can win that fight up against Nivera. He's just too damn good with the Mackie.
Yeah, Heretics have been loving the SMGs in general. Most teams do on these weaker, on these rounds where they're up against the weaker investments, but the Bisons especially, I mean, having 2 of them out in this round is certainly an interesting choice. Going straight on towards A, though, they will find the open bomb site, so it's not going to cost them. I mean, it was just strange, especially if they wanted to favor over towards A, to have such a heavy SMG investment. It also gives them the opportunity, though, of course, now with only the 2 players remaining, for them to try and actually hunt down those frags, add a little bit to their own economy, because, as we said before as well, having this many SMGs means that there isn't really enough kills to go around to make it all that worthwhile. But with the force buy being actually brought in, it kind of does change things a little bit, because then, you know, obviously if they win this one, they're up against the full eco in the next, and damn, Kiyoshima just tapping away with the Bison. 1 in the difference, and that's likely going to be closed out in a moment as well to bring it 9-9.
9-9. Complexity not going to be happy about conceding that lead that they had, but at the end of the day, it is that slow start on the first half. Excuse me, the slow start in a half is fine to have when you're losing the pistol, when you're not winning that force buy afterwards as well. You got to accept it. It's just how life goes sometimes, but there's still plenty of time to get back on into the game. Right now, though, with just the USPs, there really shouldn't be a lot.
He almost got caught off guard. I was about to say that second player indeed coming in could have been a problem for him. Got the 3 health and eventually will be finished off there by Config, but they don't mind too much. Only had the Mac 10 to lose, of course. Overall, the SMG is still getting most of the kills here for Heretics as well, so they're good with how this round is gone. Only losing the 1 if they realize pretty soon that the B bomb site is open, or at least they should realize pretty soon it's open now that they are sending that player out from mid as well. So the bomb will eventually be retrieved. I mean, it's left in towards mid at the moment. There's 1 player holding for the long aggression, so they're going to get this info about where BlameF is, even if the kill doesn't come in. Nice shot indeed being connected there. So, I mean, that's an SMG. There's, again, nothing you can do about the actual round, but if you could get even 1 more kill.
The fact that they had 4 SMGs coming through to this one, though, concerns me. That buy is a real negative equity. They're going to have to invest up here. The solid thing about it is, with the kills that they found, the players that have to reinvest and get AKs dropped over, and we should end up in a decent position. I think Lucky's... No, he's still okay after buying armor. They got enough kills, the bomb plant and the round wins, that they're not forced down to an eco afterward. With the amount of damage Complexity managed to do, that could have gotten out of hand very, very quickly.
Indeed, but look at this. Heretics have all of their players in tunnels right now. A bit of a change of luck, and they come in as they bring it straight towards B. That flash was perfect. Obo blind, trying to cross the defense, gets wrecked. Config now on the bomb site. He will drop the smoke, but he's been spammed away on already. The flash thankfully coming over gives him some space to go ahead and try and work a frag, which he will find on Maka. And importantly, he's just wasting quite a bit of time at this point. Unfortunately, he does go down eventually. A little bit of wallbang damage being done, I believe, there onto Navira. Nothing too substantial, though, as the bomb will be planted where Heretics having themselves a man advantage. And Complexity, realizing that's the case, decide they don't want anything to do with this round anymore. They've begun to run away already.
There's also a perfect flash that came through from Lucky onto Kiyoshima. Or Navera, actually, up close on tunnels. Don't think it was intended to be that way. But it didn't matter. Because Complexity, they're biggity bailing. They're off to save this up through live to fight another day and all that. But Heretics on their T side. And this team has come a long way in such a short period of time. And Complexity have got to be kicking themselves. Just looking at this on a surface level, I've never seen anyone save here. Fair play. But,
me and Hawk actually talked about that the other day, because we were talking about the piss save on Inferno.
The what?
It's surprisingly not that common.
Oh, the
way
save,
on Inferno,
sorry.
you can obviously save in the pit.
Yeah.
We were saying how the only other one we could think of really being the kind of a position like that where you can stay in the bomb site itself is on Dust2 towards the car.
Fair enough.
You see it very rarely, though, surprisingly.
Yeah, and it gives you a nice, I mean, as long as you're 100 HP, it gives you a really nice chance of not being exit fragged. They had control of tunnels there, so that wasn't the biggest of concern, but how many times do you see it in a round where the T's might have an extra 1k, like they need to save their weapons, and they run, I'll open the map here just to show, they run out of tunnels and then all the way towards T spawn, and you get a player playing behind this box or up around this car kind of area that BlameF is very politely blocking with. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Obo. He's a little skinnier, so it's easier to show. So all around here, and they end up getting exit fragged by him. The BlameF just blocks up the whole bottom of the map. Too much protein.
Too swole.
My problem is I probably eat the same amount as him.
Yeah, you just do none of the exercise.
Exactly.
I'm the same. But I mean, Heretics have gotten themselves into the lead. I really wasn't expecting this after it being 7-0 at one point. But Complexity have really fallen off a cliff in terms of performance, and Team Heretics aren't really going to let up on the throttle at all. They already have one player actually pushed out into middle right now. That's XMS who's up close. Leaving that one player, I guess, to be a bit of a nuisance as they get the short control, give them the option to move back in if they want. Overall, though, nothing too crazy apart from that one player out mid. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with this, because Complexity for the moment themselves playing quite passive, just having that one player in CT instead holding for the push. Okay, apparently, I don't know if he had the read or if he was just blocking off the doors, but that worked perfectly for Blame F.
Re-smoke in there to upgrade to the AK. Complexity sat down with a fairly comfy hold. The only thing that's a little bit surprising is Blame F staying up aggressive. Usually at this point, whenever Complexity do find the opening, you'll see a slightly more passive hold coming through, especially considering the fact that their short hold is poisoned at car. And eventually, there it is. Blame's in a bit of a better position now to come in as a supportive element, although he hasn't got any flashes left. Which would obviously usually be if Poison's taking the shot, flash goes up so he can get out of the car. Bail back to a safer position. Either way, Heretics looking to push you out of the B site. Haven't checked close left. Ovo could be a big danger for them. He finds himself one, looks for more, and although he found the damage, it's not going to be the kill. Crossing over and getting the bomb planted. Complexity have to come in for the retake, because even with 6 seconds left, more than enough. Miz, Rush is coming behind. Oh no, they are expecting it. Maka's being conscious of it. Pushing back up with the AK. Steps are heard though. Rush knows he's coming.
Alright, that was a strange one from Maki. He didn't really need to push that aggressively. He could have held instead. Now the two angles of attack can be allowed, or rather the three, as long as the offense ready towards the window. Keo picks up the opening, but as they try and get more aggressive to take those one-on-ones each, unfortunately neither of them will be able to win it out. Another round being found for Complexity. They do put Blame F on the bomb instead. I'm pretty sure Poison the time anyway. But there we go. The score again being tied up. We've finally seen Complexity putting a stop to what was 6 rounds there in a row from Heretics, and given themselves the opportunity to try and get back into their winning ways, but obviously investing everything into this round after only surviving with 2. They're not really going to have any money left over, so this is a very crucial round for them to pick up. If Heretics return this one, then they're going to again just begin to run away with that lead.
There's a lot of pressure on the CT side now to make it work. We said Complexity's defense has been weak so far, but this is suboptimal. Tying it up at 10-10 and left in a position where a loss will put you 12-10 behind. AWP on short hasn't spotted XMS. This gives him an opportunity in just a little bit. I know, Poison falls back. He knows when he's overstayed his welcome. Excuse me. Now playing back over at the car. You may expect that in a round like this, if Heretics do decide to push through short, that they would have plenty of smokes in play. Although they've only smoked close here, normally if it was going to be a full commitment, you'll also have another smoke down around here to block off that AWP. That's why you saw Poison inside the car. But as Rush falls, Poison flashes around and he's dead as well.
All right.
Keo couldn't see a thing.
Yeah, I mean, that works. 2 openings over towards long with the smokes available. They can cover off that cross, and they're making sure they do. There's not 3 or 4 smokes. Either way, not allowing for any gaps to be left. If there was still a gap there, I would have laughed so hard. But yeah, Complexity immediately call for that save, back it away. 3 rifles to be carried over. It'll give them enough to drop and get the buy-in again. But, well, yeah, it will, because Blame F and Obo will both be able to drop. Config will have to buy up his own utility. Will only get 2,900, so he wouldn't have been able to either way. But Heretics, they've reclaimed the lead, and as I said, this really wasn't a round that Complexity could afford to lose. Obviously, saving helps them out a bit, but still, just momentum-wise, confidence, everything is just favoring Heretics. And they want to hunt this. They know if they can take even one of these weapons out of the hands of Complexity, it could stop them from buying in this next round, potentially.
Oh yeah, they are stacked up outside. There's a flash in play from Maka. Can pop that over the wall as they start to push out. Look at this, they're executing onto me to stop them saving. This is dangerous now. The T starting to close the distance. They've already dropped Obo, which is worthwhile enough. And that's all they'll get. Just the one frag, but even still. I mean, losing 2 players in order to remove one from the CT side, like you said, Dean. You've got players that can't buy for themselves. They needed drops, and now it's a much harder decision for Complexity to make as to whether they invest into this round or not, and it looks like the decision is not. So there's the benefit. If they saved all 3 weapons, I've no doubt they would have invested fully.
Oh, they definitely would have. It would have been actually a fairly strong buy. As I said, even taking that one weapon out did limit them down out to this position where they can only buy up a few pistols on people who didn't carry over a weapon. So, yeah, I mean, there's still some hope. Hang on, Config just rushed straight up short and finds that opening kill on towards XMS. Immediately, Heretics react by just wanting to bring this straight up on, but up close with the P250. Poison not only gets that opening kill on Kiyoshima, but he also actually manages to do a considerable amount of damage by dinking down Navira. And look at this. A good position being taken by rushing towards the car. Unfortunately, I jinxed that instantly as the Molotov comes in, so now they do at least know he's there. But the map control overall is definitely favouring Complexity. They have a player in spawn and one in the lower tunnels to find out if Heretics move back.
Waiting for someone on Complexity to make a move. Eventually, though, they've got to go forward. They know there's one on car, and Maka's got the molly to hopefully take him out. There's the swing, and goodbye rush. A little bit of damage for him, but Navarra has to stay passive considering he's, what, 7 HP? Drops the smoke in for the crossover and looking to sight now. Molly behind just to make sure they don't get pushed, and here we go. Navarra covering sight, re-smoking down in CT to make sure there's no gap for sure. Config somehow still alive up there. Boost is not going to work either. And now they know exactly where Obo is as he goes into the bomb plant. Lucky stays nice and safe behind the box, making sure he doesn't get jump shot. And good luck with this one. A nice crossfire on the site. Navarro with the AWP. Should be the one to close this out, but he's missed twice. And that gives Obo a real shot. Navarra is 7 health. Obo has no utility, though. He has to dry peek and op.
What's going on there? I mean, yeah, he manages to actually cross out. But it's a difficult shot to hit, and against the op especially. What was going on? Were you watching him the entire time?
Most of it. And I love how that's the shot he hits when he stands up and flicks. But when...
Oh, no. I meant Obo. Oh, I don't know what Obo was doing.
Oh, Obo,
he tried to reload, failed the reload, kept jumping around, had another AK on the ground, but the E button wouldn't work, so he couldn't pick it up, so he just peeked with the deagle instead. But that whole ordeal took like 7 or 8 seconds. It was really strange.
Had he have reloaded the AK, he actually stood a pretty good chance with the 7 HP. But of course, there's no way for them to know exactly how healthy someone is. No, but Navarra, he missed so many. I think it was 3 shots in a row where Obo was essentially standing still in his crosshair, and he just couldn't hit it. It was giving him a haircut.
Just a strange 1v1. Double up setup for Complexity. I mean, that previous round obviously wasn't the buy from them, so I think they can be pretty happy with it overall, but they need to start picking up rounds. That's all that matters at this point. Decent nade damage actually there, as well as this aggression that's coming through the tunnels right now to really restrict Heretics. The nade forces Navarra forward, and unfortunately he finds out there is 2 of them waiting for him. Rushed up close on short. I was going to say a dangerous position, but as he lines up 2, he is going to easily keep this one in favor of Complexity. Giant then by Config, putting it all onto Kiyoshima, as it looks like Complexity may finally be able to get another one here on the CT side. Unless Kiyoshima pulls off a bit of a miracle. They don't have a lot of money, so it could be worthwhile for him to try and save this, but with so much time, I don't know if that's really going to be what he goes for.
Well, 40 seconds left. Time to make a decision is now. Bomb down on short. He could actually... Oh, no. He can't really cross over safely. Poison's watching that intermittently with the AWP. But not anymore. He's not. Got domed out. 22 seconds left. Starting to make his way in towards this site. Molly up. That's going to block him from pushing forward, though. Not all the way, though. It just runs straight through it. Facing Config with the AWP. Rushing over to site. Config has to hit this shot or the round could go away. And luckily, he does indeed. Seeing his legs in the corner of his vision. 12 to 11. And Heretics putting up such a damn good fight. Like I said, Mirage is a map that looks massively good for complexity, and we saw them go 13-3 up, and then Heretics pulled back, almost brought it to an OT. Dust2 is in the same category, but complexity still not able to put their best foot forward. That is not the way to take Maka down.
No, definitely not. I mean, that's a bit ballsy by Poison to be willing to go for that peek straight up on mid. There is normally going to be the op watching that. If not, then there's probably no one peeking it. I guess then obviously you get yourself a bit of control. But that's just so risky. A man advantage for Team Heretics. Overall, they have the weaker buy in this one as well, so that's a big find. You can see BlameF is remaining aggressive around short to see if he can pull something back. Okay, gets one. Actually dropped the bomb. Obviously not in a position he can hold this, so they will have to give it up. But Lucky finds a player trying to creep out at CT spawn. Rush goes down. And now it's a 4-on-3. Team Heretics reacting to this, bringing it back to hit towards the B bomb site. There is two players who quickly rotated in towards CT, but on the bomb site itself, I was going to say just Obo, but he's actually out towards window. Now only transitioning in.
Grabs himself the one and a second on a Navera. Looking good with the AK, mollied out, just jumps into the smoke up on top. He's nice and safe. Looking to try to creep through the doors, and Kiyoshima's left all alone because of that. Making it over to pick up the bomb, but the flank is coming through, and that's going to be the end of Kyo, one would imagine. Oh no, he's going to actually get the bomb planted, and after this, he might be conscious of tunnels. Nobody's moved up. Nobody's pushing him, and yeah, now he knows tunnels is there, but 34 health left on the board. Config comes through with the AWP, and Kyo didn't suspect Blame to have already walked out so wide. That was a curious decision earlier on. When BlameF found the trade back into a 4v4, he bailed off of short immediately, and Rush's reaction was just to push through CT doors, or CT towards mid doors. I don't know where, I'm guessing that from that spot, they thought once BlameF fell back that the T's would move in and take a very tight short control and look to execute in with smokes, especially because they knew that Poison was dead, who traditionally plays on the car, so that only leaves BlameF to hold the A site. And that is a weakness that was definitely on display, but it's a big gamble to assume that the whole team is going to be there and just completely leaving that part of the map open after already finding the control earlier on.
I mean, it could come down to Rush right now just not having a great game in general. It can affect how you play. Sometimes you feel like you need to do more, and it does affect that decision making. He's currently 6-21. But if he can step up now, there's still some rounds left for him to actually try and contribute, and he could be the turning factor for Complexity to be fair. They should be reclaiming that lead right now, because all we do see is pistols and a few nades being bought up from Heretics. For the moment, though, over towards Long, I'm seeing one player close to the north that maybe could be overwhelmed by these pistols, and indeed that is the case. Sure, Poison helps out for one, but again with the op, he couldn't immediately return a second, falling back to the pistol. A fall after only being able to find 2 frags, so again being kept close, and Maka peeking back in, destroys Config into spawn. Now he has an op to work with as well. Drops the M4 back to Lucky, and suddenly they have a 3-on-2.
Ashima can go and grab himself a rifle in a minute as well. He's only got the Deagle to work with for now. And surprisingly, out of the 3 that are alive, he's the one that's looking up to the site from pit. The AWP watching the back would have probably swapped those roles around a little bit. BlameF on top mid knows that this is a commitment, so you're going to have Obo on site ready for something to happen. He's hoping for cross smokes, and there are in play. What a swing! The timing on that! Straight on Maka's head. Oh, Obo with the spray. Can't find another. Spammed out by Kiyashima. Knows he's to the right. He has already made it to site, and it looks like you're going to have a bomb plant coming through fairly soon. That molly slows them down, though. 15 seconds left. They've got to get a move on. Swinging up wide. Obo wants to go in for the jump peek in just a moment, making sure they don't come down for him. 8 seconds. He's rushing into the site. Knows there's a player at the back. Kiyashima, though, not going to face that. They've got time on their side. They need to deal with one of these, though. They can't afford to be split. Oh, my God, Obo! He takes them both. The spacing was terrible there. Kyo goes out, gets taken down, and only then is Lucky peeking. And with that, a defuse and Complexity, they're back in the lead.
Decent control of the M4 there to be able to transfer that one, but nothing too special. As you said, definitely could have peaked it a little bit more in synchronization there to ensure at least the trade. But yeah, I mean, overall, considering how little investment there was, I don't think Heretics are too upset now they come back onto the bye. Obviously, they have conceded the lead over to Complexity, but if they were able to win this one with the damage that they've been doing, they again would take themselves control. And at this point, the loss bonus has begun to actually run down for Complexity. They'd only get 1900 if they were to lose this round. Sure, that'd be enough for 3 players to buy, but it wouldn't be for 2. And then if that gun round didn't work out, suddenly Heretics getting very close to that finish line. And that's why we see Complexity going for the pause, because they know how important this gun round is.
Like you said, Dean, this is a very important round for Complexity, and they know it. That's even more pressure on. And as we're saying, you know, a player like Rush, who's definitely not having the best of games, that's only more pressure on him. How will that affect him? 7 kills on the board, plus a team kill. Definitely not being his game. Neither has it been XMS's, though. He's been very slow to start on all the maps.
Yeah, it's certainly been more Navira and Maka definitely who have been the 2 standouts for Heretics. Definitely Koshima and Lucky having their moments as well. But XMS, as you said, hasn't been having a fantastic series, but right now would be a good time for him to step up as well. For Heretics right now, if they want to actually try and bring this over the finish line. We pointed out how important this round is. Complexity, after their pause, don't really change things up too much apart from gambling a 3rd player over towards B. So I guess thinking that Heretics are going to bring it in this direction, which is possible. But for now, they're focusing on just getting that short control and just seemingly playing this round out pretty standard. Just going for that default and seeing what they can find while doing so.
Time ticks away slowly but surely. Heretics look to move in towards that A site. Complexity have fallen back into a B heavy position. If Heretics do move forward with this, they could be looking at a very domineering round. The thing here is that Config, with the AWP in play, is looking for the cross. But with how Heretics traditionally take their short control, we're going to have those smokes we talked about earlier completely blocking them off. The molly goes through to try and delay them. And there we go. What can he do from this position? Only fall back, concede it, and allow a bomb plant for short. XMS doesn't have the bomb, but he's in position to plant it. If someone would just give it over to him. There we go.
Pass the parcel.
Exactly.
Gets to him
Conga
eventually.
line.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of damage at least being done on XMS, but a 5-on-5 afterplant is a great spot for Heretics. Having that short control as well, having the lower tunnels control, and knowing that no one's going to be coming from this direction without a lot of warning being given to them. So they can afford to focus around the CT and long area. Opening kills still being found for Complexity though, as Poison and Rush frag. Only 2 trades so far being found. Navira actually coming in from mid, manages to get the double. It is planted for short and Rush is low health. A Molotov available, but for now just being tapped. He tries to take the peek in. Navira though, 1 to the body was all he needed, so that was pretty straightforward. Retrieves the op that can be given over now to Maka, but a close round comes down to the 1v1. But as I said, losing that one kind of destroys Complexity when you have a look at their money. They're going to have to take the eco here, and even then, getting 2400 in the next round won't give them a perfect buy onto a couple of players. Poison will be lacking for sure. If he wants an op, it'd have to be dropped. Likely by Obo, it would be an option. Depends on whether he's willing to not really invest anything in this round or not. Apparently, Navira spilled his drink. And he still clutched. What a legend.
Even with a sticky mouse pad. The thing there for Rush, I feel bad. That was a 3k from him. He entered that side on the retake so well. And then he made a little bit of a play. If I was in Navira's position, I'd be thinking only option here is to jump shot it. But he was so focused on that, he knew Rush was probably going to make a play to try and finish it out, and indeed he did. Absolutely spectacular work being done though by the T side. Navira in particular has had a good half, but Maka 30 kills on the board now after that round. Stark contrast to Poison, who had a good first half, definitely on the board massively there. He had 6 kills in the first 2 rounds, I think. And yet here he is on 19. The last 6-7 rounds have been really slow from him on that AWP.
I would imagine it wasn't on the mouse pad, or if it was, he had a replacement one quickly, because the pause didn't last too long. We do see a tactical actually coming in, and I don't disagree with this. being proactive with it. They were probably having a bit of a discussion there anyway, but Navera was likely busy cleaning, so they might have to fill him in on what exactly they're going to plan in this round, especially considering, as I said, being the one-on-one in the end, dropping down to only a single player surviving. They themselves don't have a great economy, so they want to try and ensure that they spend this as wisely as they can. But yeah, I mean, Complexity in this one, just a few upgraded pistols, so they're likely going to give over that lead back to Heretics now. Just back and forth continuously.
I mean, one thing you can say that this wasn't, that was a really weird thing, really weird way to phrase that. One thing you have to say about this series is that it's entertaining. There you go. This has been so wild, such a wild ride. To me, Complexity took the last 2 maps convincingly. Mirage Dust2, it's their pool, it's their playstyle. They couldn't be happier with how that ended up. And Heretics, they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're delighted that it ended up being a situation where Complexity were comfortable, because it just makes it all the better when you destroy them. XMS jump spawning across there on short, catches Config. Not a shot onto him, but although eventually the nade does a bit of damage. But he sees him. And that's valuable enough information that they're not going to be giving away a free kill. They also push him back a little bit.
Yeah, trying to deny the aggression. Config, though, not really going to care about the fact that he was tagged up. He's going to go back in for this right now. There is a player coming out through top mid, so if he goes any further, he probably would be in trouble. Instead, holding the angle, spotting the head of Lucky, but unfortunately, as it moves just a little bit, once he does pop up, he is... he's not going to be able to connect that deagle shot. Like Whack-A-Mole, sometimes you're not always successful. Gotta have those quick reactions, precise ones as well. Everyone else stacked towards B at the moment, and it does seem like Heretics will probably favor on towards A. One player still back in tunnels, but they also have a player holding the long aggression. They have 3 players already having short control, ensuring that there's no one up close just now around the stairs or playing up on the corner. But I mean, they could, in theory, still go back, but I'm down in 30 seconds, so there shouldn't really be much that the CT boys here can actually do about this. At most, a few exits potentially to come in. If Complexity could steal away some weapons and do some damage, that would be massive.
The thing is, when you fake out that aggression so much on the A site as the CT's on a pistol round and you're pushing forward, making noise, it generally does tell them, like, this guy is trying to scare us away, right? He's trying to push us to the other side. That's a very good kill for Poison. An AK for free? This will allow Blame F to maybe drop him an AWP later. Oh, hold on. He's going to continue forward. Looking to hunt with this. Okay, he gets himself one Kiyashima as well. They don't really have time to go for this. They would need to find kills immediately. Oh, but he's picked up an AWP. I mean, valuable enough to save those weapons, and considering there's a third as well, I think they probably just go in for the save. Oh, yeah, okay. No, there's no time. I just saw them jump down. I thought they were going to try for it, but they're just saving it. Took it away. 3 weapons. Again, look at how well these teams have been playing when they only have P250s deagles. You're walking away with an AWP, an AK, and a Galil? Fantastic.
It helps them quite a bit. It ensures that they have all the nades that they want in this round. I don't think it would have been too big of an issue either way, but it also leaves them with some extra money if they do need to actually buy up in this next round and fight for an overtime. Not where they want to be, but it is there as a little bit of security just in case. But look at this, Heretics taking up that pace and going straight out long. Flash is blinding up everyone, but they follow up again from the CT side. Navera unable to see anything as Config swings in, and likely should be able to upgrade that weapon, which he has already done for himself. So yeah, I mean, that weaker weapon being negated pretty quickly. Heretics having to give up on their dreams of getting that long control in the beginning of this round, and looking to reapproach now with a disadvantage.
Hooked up on mid here. Config is causing a little bit of havoc. As soon as they make a step, pull a nade, he knows what's going on. He'll hear that. Calm it over. Heretics have been consistently mollying up on that close door position, but it looks like this round they're going to give it a break. All the times to do it. I've only got 2 mollies left. Makes sense. They don't want to just discard them for free. Shit, that's so good! Blame F calling it for Oboe. They work perfectly together, the big and the small. And as it's a 4 versus 2, Heretics are now the small ones in this. Small chance of winning, that is. flank coming through from Rush as well. Everything's going right for Complexity with 22 seconds left.
Yeah, this one's done. If they can save the 2 weapons over, it might help them out a bit, but they're still in a very difficult spot. Getting 1,400, it's not going to be enough for them to buy onto anyone, really. XMS can get his own investment. Maybe they could drop over an SM. It's a tough spot to be in. I mean, do you go for the weaker buy, or do you take that eco and try and play for overtime? And even then, you're going to have Maka potentially on the weaker investment still, only getting 1,900. So, yeah, I mean, they need to make a decision, and realizing they need a bit of extra time to make that, they do call for the pause.
Everyone could just do me a favor and pretend they didn't see that random scene change. We're all good. We're all happy. Everyone's...
What'd you do?
Nothing, Dean. I don't know. What do you mean, what did I do? Nothing happened. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Nothing happened.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anywho, sorry, I might have actually cut off a couple of words you said there, Dean. I randomly, I went to click off my mute mic button so I could cough, and instead I clicked adverts. I just started really quickly.
Just out of nowhere.
Do you want to buy a new T-shirt going over the ESL
out,
shop? Just in the middle of a round.
Well, you found out they had horror to stream a jump scare in the middle of a Counter-Strike match.
Oh, they're gonna go in for the save now and get your T-shirt right now. Oh, I love it. Well, this is what happens when one man's doing production and casting. I will mess it up. That's just how life is, unfortunately. We're not living a life of luxury here with an observer, a producer, all that. We're buyer lonesome. We're talking to buyer lonesome. Look at who's alone towards that A site. All by himself. Poison's holding down. Look for the long play. He's got an AWP and a dream. A smoke in case he gets mollied, and buddies in case he gets rushed down as they start to leave long a little bit. Rush to support him. Here we go. Poison finds the opening. Now it's Rush's time to shine. He's got to pop a flash around to help out his buddy. Or not. No, they're going to stay passive. Poison actually confident. He's such a confident hopper. To play up behind that smoke and flash himself around. Eventually, though, Rush throws one of his own, and that should be Poison safely to the bomb site as expected. Opening duel and the bailout for free. Very nice start for Complexity.
Indeed. I mean, the momentum in this game is just constantly shifting back and forth. I can never predict who's actually going to end up with the victory on a map, no matter how many rounds we've seen in a row from the other team. It seems like they can always fight back in. But right now, Heretics are definitely the ones on the back foot. Limited nades, damage being done to a couple of players already, alongside, of course, that opening frag. And time running really low at this point. They don't have short control, which they do look to try and get at this point, but with only 30 seconds left, if even a couple kills come in from BlameF, the round could be over. That was a big find from Lucky, and also from BlameF there as he spots the head over towards short. So again, just shifting back in favor of Complexity. 15 seconds, man, they need to go.
Obo might catch them all. Moving on forward, he sees heads. He pops one. Navera gonna be popped out of the universe as well. Lucky, 5 seconds left. No time for this one to work out as he catches Obo. Config is miles away. 15 rounds for Complexity. Winning on time and bomb control. It's one round to go, and for Heretics to win, they've got to take it all the way through an overtime. Complexity have done so well to pick this up, but it doesn't end here. We know they've struggled on the CT sides in general. They've got another to connect. Look at that buy, though, for Heretics. A Tech 9 on XMS. And what else are you going to have around this op on Maka? Not a whole bunch.
Not very much at all. Pistols, probably going to be the limit, unless they wanted to pull out a Mach 10, but they do decide against that. Kiyoshimi was really the main one who could potentially bring that into play, but deciding the Deagle on an extra few nades is probably a better idea. And they're very likely going to come out with maybe a Deagle as well, but it will be some sort of pistol. Yeah, I mean, Maka, he's been playing fantastic, but it's really going to be falling onto him to try and put in the main work right now in this round if they actually want to pull it into an overtime. It's looking like Complexity may have been able to do it after all, despite having such a poor start on their CT side. They kind of done similar to what we see from Heretics and managed to start actually recovering towards the latter end of the half.
Now, these Deagles going to be used to primarily take control over middle and move through short again, hoping Complexity would have BlameF playing aggro there, but not today. Over towards the B side, holding down with his buddy Obo. taking that aggro mid control. Really, you know, as they move forward, this is a Hail Mary, smokes out, crossing to the site. The Opper in towards the back lines isn't going to be able to help a car. He's going to be, he's sticking around. He's sticking at car. Poison. This man is unstoppable. They don't expect it. How could you? You've smoked him off. He should be way down in pit, but instead he's sticking around, taking all the fights he can, but he gets punished. After the tag on the Maka, he survived and takes down both Oppers. No doubt about who's scoping the best on the server today. And a 5 versus 3, Heretics so close to taking it all the way to an overtime. And Obo's shut down as well. So little hope remains for Complexity.
Obviously they have to move in, but Blame F finds 3 players waiting for him up close on short, only able to get 1, leaving it now on Rush, who said hasn't been having the greatest of performances so far. Would have been a fantastic time to step up, but in a 1-on-4, you couldn't expect too much of him. 15 to 15, we're going to see an overtime here on map number 3 to decide who's going to win between Complexity and Heretics, and I'm not even going to bother giving a prediction. This is going to be crazy.
Absolutely. For Heretics to even put up this much of a fight was questionable. I mean, we did not expect it moving into this series. Complexity should have been the ones walking away with the victory. With how the veto went, everything looked good for them. Nuke, we expected to be Heretics map. Oh god, I got the hiccups. Nuke, we expected to be Heretics map, and then moving into the Puggies, the Puggies? That's what I'm calling them from now on. The Puggies! Welcome to the Puggies! Dust2 Mirage. That's where Complexity should be walking away with it, but no. It's been a hell of a challenge so far. 16-14 on Mirage. 15-15 on Dust2. Heretics now on their T side looking to bring through the wrath of their buy rounds, but in all fairness, Complexity have certainly recovered a lot when it came towards the later stage of that half. But they won 6 out of 8 for the last rounds, if I'm not mistaken. They did very well. Anyways.
Somewhere around that area, I can't remember now, it doesn't show us anymore, but that nade there over mid in towards Lucky was huge. The amount of damage it connected, and then this aggression from Obo as well, getting them tunnels control. Complexity have kicked off this overtime quite strong. Looking for the long control right now on the side of Heretics to see if they can recover. Having short as well, that would be perfect to give them the ability to split in, especially having the man disadvantage to be able to kind of shift the attention of the CT players towards 2 different positions. But they are going to have to obviously deal with Rush, who's up close in the pit at the moment. And also the ability there for Blame F to rotate in and help them out as it will be called over. Well, okay. Lucky just pops out, gets the headshot instantly. Blame F trying to swing in, only able to actually get himself 1. That's all he's good for. Poison on the bomb site is gone as well. What is this?
At least Obo's able to try. There's about 17 smokes down. There's so many particles there. They're probably blocking bullets at that point. Kiyoshima's made it onto the site to get himself a plant, but no, he jumped up in config, took him down just as quickly, and now Maka, without the AWP, got to be winning out this clutch. He's going for the plant, or no, he's not! That's what he was trying to fool Obo into thinking. Again, the same trick, and it works, but no time left. Complexity win the round on the clock, and 16-15. If he had found the kill on the Obo the first time, they could have done it, but just not possible the second time around. The CT side winning it out. And again, the T side has been where Heretics look the best throughout this series, but coming into the end of their defense side, Complexity have been slowly clocking up those round wins in full buys. I feel like that's a lot of pressure now on Heretics to deliver.
That was a ballsy jump back across the doors there. Shot not being connected by Maka, but yeah, Complexity. Great recovery in that round. They're bringing themselves up to 16. Again, I still don't know which way this is going to go. I do believe Heretics, of course, can begin to recover again on their T side here. Still an opportunity to try and at least add 1 round. Although, of course, the CT side being a bit shaky for both teams. I don't think that's that's exactly how Heretics would like it to go. I know, though, definitely favor towards this B split, and actually trying to move it out tunnel with a smoke down is probably a bad idea. Obo playing between the smokes, manages to get himself 1 kill, and then the help of Poison and Blame F to shut down the mid push just decimates any sort of opportunity here for Heretics. XMS does what he can, but it's not enough. Keo left on 3 health with 4 opponents, and that nade just comes in and ends everything. 17-15, Complexity getting the opening 2 rounds of the overtime. And we see the money being a little bit shaky there for Kiyoshima, but overall their investment's pretty solid.
I gotta say 10 KOTs again. Well, we didn't see
Probably
a save.
not.
It's only when the CT side losing rounds that it really comes through, you know. With Heretics, if you're buying into rifles again and again on the T side, you're going to be okay. You can get 5 AKs 3 times, close to the 3rd time anyways. But on the CT side, if you lose those 2 rounds when you've had M4s, good luck to you. Gone. You're on pistols. But luckily for Complexity, they don't have money problems. They're feeling damn good with how things are going. A double op setup in play for now. And plenty of cash around it as well. You could get an auto sniper for the... No, you're not going to do that on the CT side. Well, I hope you're not going to do that on the CT side. Not in such a tight and such an important match.
No, definitely not. I'm worried for Heretics here. I'm sure they could bring it back on the CT side, but as I said, with the T sides overall looking better for both teams, if Complexity get this 3-0 on their CT side, they are in a prime position to close this. One positive being Heretics do get this long control early on, but they don't put presence elsewhere on the map, so they have at this point lost all map control, given room for Blame F to even push up towards top mid and get himself quite a bit of info. If he continues to go forward, though, we would find one player up close on the left, so that would be dangerous, and indeed looking like he might indeed creep in this direction. XMS holding where the flash goes in, but it's not good to blind them. An easy headshot for XMS, and the advantage that Heretics desperately needed now to try and get themselves back into this.
Picking up this 1 round is essential, otherwise they'll have to compete for another overtime, and at that point morale tends to take a little bit of a skydive. Obo playing aggressively at the doors. Gonna spot them if they rotate over, but no, he's gone back up to the B site, leaving it open for Heretics to move over to short. But that's just fine. Complexity are happy to concede that part of the control because they had Russian config there for just a second, mollied out. Have to keep on contesting this. They've given up long, but Rush sticks around too long. Overstaying is welcome. Now as they push to site, config with one domed out right afterwards. XMS with a clean headshot. And now that should be the round. Maka facing into an AWP down in CT. Realizes maybe that's not the best decision and starts to bail on. Back bomb planted. Time on their side.
It was a little bit risky biscuit there from the V. He survives and I mean 4 on 3, 2 on 3 now rather, because of that long aggression from Maka. That was an interesting choice. I mean, 2 of these players are still relatively tagged up. Obviously, Complexity are going to be going for the round as well, so that definitely wasn't the safest. They could have played it. Another opening being found from Obo as they go forward, but now it's all on Poison. He has the kit, but unfortunately no nades to help him actually get on towards this bomb, so he's going to have to fight for it. Both players up close at this point as well, realizing they don't have to actually take the challenge themselves. They wait for Poison to pop out, and once his head shows, they immediately rip it off. 16-70, and Heretics do at least get themselves that 1 round from the T side. If they want to get the win, though, here in this overtime, they need to come out with all 3 on their CT side. So that's not going to be an easy showing. Complexity definitely feeling comfortable. As we said, well, overall, the T side's looking a little bit better for both teams.
2 rounds for Complexity is a pretty obtainable goal. More so than Heretics completely dominating their CT. Kiyashima getting tagged up early on certainly doesn't help it, but he consider himself lucky to still be alive. Mind you, he's Kiyashima, so he shouldn't consider himself lucky because
that's his teammate.
That's a different person, yeah.
Identity fraud.
Just trying to save you, Kiyashima. Don't get in trouble with the law.
Yeah, I mean, taking this slow. Complexity, I'm presuming they do know they connected that shot, but I'm not 100% sure because the smoke was down, so there was a little bit of a spam around the edge of it. In the end, though, it's actually Maka who ends up shedding the first blood in terms of the actual open and frag. Finding Blame F going on towards short. Did have a teammate, but with the tight angle being held, there wasn't really much else that could be done there for a trade to even come in. Maka fell straight back off, and this is a solid spot now for them to be in. You see Complexity just grouped up around short at this point. If they head in this direction, to be fair, the 2 players over on long will have a bit of time to rotate in, so it depends really, obviously, how much warning is given. But with Maka being so aggressive, if they get this kill and do so cleanly, they could get the bomb site. Oh, but no, not going to happen. Most of the focus is well going to be put towards mid, at least initially.
The complexity of an issue in that they only have the flashbangs really to help them entry in towards A. Lucky immediately eliminates Obo as he tries to come through CT, and now swings up to finish off the round as Maka was firing away on the op. 17-17. Heretics starting it out with a round they needed. A second will guarantee them another overtime. 19 to win. So the home stretch now, whichever team, or if a team is going to win here, they have to find 2 in a row. Otherwise, it will be an OT. Heretics, they move in with that double op setup again. Vera and Maka rocking those. Maka close to dropping a 40 bomb coming into this OT. Flash straight out of doors. Early aggression, and Heretics completely concede that control. But then, after just a minute, Kiyashima starts to move back forward. Maka, the car swings out for config, and they're going to be heavily focused on him. This is a huge opportunity for Keo. That flash isn't going to blind him at all. And presumably the head spotted. Good night.
Playing it safe, didn't want to go for the wall bang, even though it probably would have worked in a second, quickly followed up on by Poison. As you said, Kiyoshima had the chance to catch them off guard. Unfortunately, it was not allowed. That advantage actually being brought now in favor of Complexity. Having the full long control, they still had a player who's holding for tunnels. Aggression, so they know there's no one pushed up into that position right now. But Navera is ballsy to go for that peak, and it does work out in his favor. That is a big recovery. A 3-on-3 now for them to work with. They should have a bit of info about what's going on. They do have that op, of course, spot in mid to see if anyone does rotate back. Being a little bit cautious, I guess, that they could have gone through the spawn, so they will stack up towards B and even begin to rotate Lucky away. Complexity are still fully focused on long, though.
From what started out as a pretty good round for Heretics, I mean, Maka's position was decent. The fact that Kiyashima was not spotted up close behind that smoke, but Poison pulls it all the way back for them. After going down that smoke, it leaves a little bit of a gap, but Lucky won't be able to get a kill off of it. Say his Ovo almost falls. Now they know that he's close, though, and they may look to deal with him before they even go into the bomb plants. They thought he was further back, and that's a free kill for Lucky. They've Obo a bit of a jump scare, I'm sure. Rush tucked in on the site. They know where he is. And they've spotted BlyMF towards long. And now it's all just about flushing these players out. No utility as Navera dies. Lucky's tagged, and Rush now knows they're both there. He doesn't need to pick. Oh, now he does.
Yeah, on his own tries to force the fight, but Lucky was ready for the trade. That was a tough round for Complexity to lose. It was looking like it was going to be theirs. And Lucky up close though in that corner, being able to catch the first player peeking over, just not expecting it. That really is what turned the tides right there. Heretics, they managed to bring it up to map point, and they might just be able to pull off this flawless CT side themselves to close it out. Complexity now fighting for a second overtime.
I feel bad for Navera. You know, everyone else has their beautiful profile pictures, and I heard that the light bulb just broke when they were taking his, so it's just a black outline of him, unfortunately. Poor chap. They're getting a new light bulb though. We'll have it soon. So many MVPs. There's the opening duel from Maka, but he falls immediately afterwards, putting it into a 4v4. Complexity fighting hard to bring this into another overtime. Now their best chance at winning this series. They've got short open, but they've left the bomb in T-spawn, so this is definitely going to be a slow round from them.
Yeah, definitely, as you can see, slowing it down at this point, leaving Rush back towards the spawn, where he will now retrieve the bomb. I don't think he's going to be bringing it directly anywhere at this point. Yeah, just looking to maybe try and join up with his teammates over towards mid. They do have that...
Dean? Are you with us? Dean has disappeared. He is a magician in his part-time job, so you gotta respect it. He's been having net issues all day, so I'm assuming that's what that was. We'll never know what they had. All I heard was they've got that, and that's it. Looking to cross over. Navera not going to be in position. No! He looked away at the wrong moment as well. Shut down by it. I thought the smoke would completely block him off, but he stuck around a moment too long. Lucky with the jump spot, but he's not able to finish him off. And just to bail back, just as the molly fades, here's Poison on the AWP. Looks to take him down, but he can't see him in time. Kiyashima lobbing a nade through as XMS finds one. He's looking for more. Poison up to find that frag, and it looks like we're going to go into another overtime. So plenty of time for Dean to come and rejoin us. Man, oh man, this has been a long game. Plenty of OTs. Neither team wants to let it go. And now we move into the second overtime, and as you see up the top of your screens, 1st to 22 is where we'll be finishing things. Oh, F's in chat for Dean. Appreciate you guys. I love it. Yeah, he's really not enjoying his internet today. I know you guys have seen on Twitter and stuff, a lot of people complain about it. I had it yesterday, and I'm producing. I'm in control of the camera. Way sorry to any epileptic viewers. I've messed you up. But I have to give a warning before I do that, I guess. But yeah, I had it yesterday, so lucky it's not coming through today. XMS up close. He's catching 1-2 through the smoke. He's got the 4K. What is this? Complexity completely shut down. Oh my god. Who's chatting smack about XMS now? Drops the flashbang. He wants the ace. The shot missed. Ah, Poison finishes him off. Why you gotta ruin his fun, Poison? You dick. But what a round by him. Trying to rush B in an overtime. I guess at some point you really do run out of ideas for how to approach Dust2. But that was not the play. Not the one at all. Poison taken down eventually. There we go. Nice and clean. God damn, XMS. You're winning my heart here, man. Who said UK internet in chat? No, we're Irish. It's a very different... Alright, we need to not get into this. Very different thing. Dean should be back with us shortly. He'll be surprised to see we're in another OT. He's going to be disappointed he missed that XMS spray down. Kiyashima forces to the pit. He's been really good here throughout this entire game. Caught with a flashbang out. Actually going to work reasonably well. Pushes the players back as his teammates come through with flashes of their own. The smoke buys him a little bit more time. Nade to try and do some damage. He hears the players close to him, lighting up Obo, but looking for the jump up above. Yeah, he's got a good angle. Poison stands up and loses his head. Keo in with another, and now he's going through the smoke. He's looking to continue this one on. Obo in the corner. Clearly, he suspects him to be around. Oh, they must know he's there with the nade that went down as well. What? What? I could just wallbang them. He's just shot him through the... he's just shot him through the dumpster. Ah, oh, blame F. Taken down in the end, but Obo just got done. He's been shot. He's been naded by Kiyashima, naded by Maka, and then wallbanged through the dumpster. That's the first dumpster wallbang I've ever cast. Not typical, really, is it? Oh, damn. Heretics pulling out all the stops. They're coming in with every play they possibly could. 20-18. One more needed to bring this across the line. It's been a 9-hour day now. We're coming into the 9th hour of broadcast. And I don't know if things are really just descending into chaos or if I'm losing my mind. Maybe Dean is still here and I'm hallucinating. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Wall bangs through dumpsters, 4K spray downs, rushing B on a first round of an OT, and an A site left completely open. Look at this. Kiyashima and Maka taking long control, while Lucky slowly shifts back up, but Complexity, they almost walked onto A for free.
I have returned.
Oh, Dean, man,
into the server.
You've missed madness, man.
Oh,
XMS got a 4K spray down through smoke. Maka just dropped his 40th kill by wallbanging someone through the dumpster on long. It's been crazy. Lucky comes out. Oh no, this round's not going according to plan. Not at all. Off script. Heretics are losing a lot of players. A 2v3 all of a sudden. Blame F is low, but he's on his way in through a nasty little flank. Oh no, he's abandoned it. I thought he was going to come through tunnels up behind mid, but instead he goes towards the T-spawn just to hold... Okay, Config definitely shot at the window, not Poison, right? I looked away for 1 second.
But Maka and Keo both found a frag. Keo goes down, so it's all on Maka now. He's actually run back for the Molotov and the op. He's going to put the Molotov down, hold for the push, then through it. Config is going forward beforehand, though, but now as the Molotov goes down, indeed, he has to go through. And there we go. Perfectly played. Spinbot on the bomb. Why not? Celebration. Perfect half for Heretics. I missed the first 2 rounds, but you said it was crazy. It didn't really slow down once I did get back in. My internet just being a little bit of a BITCH. I can spell it, right?
Yes, I believe you've spelled it correctly, and you're allowed to spell it. Both.
Yeah.
Both. I wasn't sure which you were asking, you know.
The second one.
But no, it has been an absolutely wild situation. Heretics just about making it, Complexity just about making it into a second OT, and then all of a sudden, we're 21-18. Heretics looking good to close this one out. And Complexity, oh, how the mighty have fallen. They started this series out great. Vito, everything was looking good, and boom, things fall apart. Dean, they've lost the opening duel as well. Mac has come through with that on the AWP. 43 kills for this guy. But up close, Blame F looks to shut them down. He was blind by that. There's 1 kill for Blame. He falls out. And a nice trade.
So needed in this situation. You can see immediately Heretics reacting and just bringing this over towards B, where right now it's only Obo to hold down. Flash goes in to give some room for him to maybe try and take the peak. Doesn't initially, instead waits for Config to help out. But will end up falling to the op of Macus, and now it's the 3-on-3. Nade's still in play. Smokes towards the door, and Molotov down on the window, and an op bullet to the chest to Config.
Locked. Oh, that's a molly and a half. The bounces today have been something else. They know now that it's not molly, though. They're conscious of it. Maka being spotted. Blame F knows he's up close, but the spray isn't good onto him. Swinging out. Rush is hoping to catch Kiyashima. They are stalemated at the moment as Rush pushes forward to try and cause a little bit of noise. Out goes Blame F, but he's caught by Kiyashima, and that is it. Team Heretics take it 22-18. And